Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and this is Charter Moms Chat on the road, and I'm in the offices of the Magik Theatre. So we're in Hemisphere Park, which is in downtown San Antonio, and my guest is Anthony Runfola, and he's the artistic director of the Magik Theatre.
Hi, how you doing?
Good,
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. Hemisphere is a special place for SA Charter Moms because we love having school discovery days here, and Magik Theatre is part of like this amazing ecosystem of fun things in Hemisphere.
Yes, the park is great. We love it, and you know, when you come to see a show, it's not for families on the weekends. It's not just the show; it's the park, it's the playground, it's all the great restaurants that are here, and you know, for the schools, what I love is seeing. You know, the school, we have 2 shows in the morning during the week, and so the first show you see the buses come and they go into the theater, the show starts, and then like right away, like at 10 o'clock, the next school comes and they have lunch and they play on the playground, and then they go see the show, and then the first show comes out and they have lunch and they play on the playground before they go back to school. So it's a full day when you come to Magik.
Yeah, no, that's really special. Yeah. And well, one of the aspects about Magik Theatre I want to emphasize is it's not just entertainment, but it's also very educational. That the shows you guys present, most of them have like a tie-in with children's literature, so it's encouraging kids to read, and the stories have, you know, so many right, like you had a sort of STEM-based show like that had parkour, right? I mean, there's so much variety, but I want to focus on the shows that's happening now and the one that's coming up, like the last show of the season. So the show that's happening now is Schoolhouse Rock Live, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Schoolhouse Rock, of course, the famous Saturday morning cartoon that started 50 years ago, and we're still singing Conjunction Junction, what's your function? Right, what a great way to learn. And we didn't even know when we were kids that we were learning necessarily. We were just singing some cool songs in the morning and having a good time with it. And it stuck with us. I mean, that's why I think it's still so popular 50 years on. And so we're doing a production that I've worked on for a long time, about 10 years now, so it's fun to come back and revisit that show again with new cast and the same great music we've been hearing for years.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking so this is the last month of the legislative session, so I'm just a bill. It's like
I'm just a bill, right?
Now,
right. And how important to remember, you know, what that process is, you know, and it's a fun way to do it, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, and it seems like kids, even like young kids, have fun. Adults have fun. For us, it's a nostalgia aspect, right? But like, I've when my kids were preteens, I brought them to shows, and really, like, it works for kids at a lot of different ages.
Yeah, I mean, and we've worked hard to sort of kind of recreate the music. So it has a modern sound to it. And so I think when families come, right, the adults have that nostalgia and the kids think it's something brand new, they haven't seen it before, or they haven't necessarily seen it before. I'm still pleased to hear that teachers are playing Schoolhouse Rock videos off of YouTube or whatever, you know, in their classrooms. So it's still being used today.
Yeah. Well, and one element of San Antonio Charter Moms is that we're always encouraging families to work to make education better, like not just finding the school that's the right fit for their own kids, but also just realizing like we have a voice and we have power to make education better as a whole. Right. So like are there messages in Schoolhouse Rock that you hope that the kids and the families take away?
Well, I think, you know, Schoolhouse Rock has always, their tagline has always been knowledge is power. And I think, you know, any learning that you do, any curiosity that you have, you know, to pursue those interests or those little ideas and see where they take you, I think is sort of the message of the show. Certainly there is a civics aspect to it, and you know, the show has, like you said, I'm just a bill, but it also has the preamble to the Constitution, you know, and so I think and the preamble is a great way to start reading the Constitution or something at home, or just understanding it, you know, understanding what that document means to the country. So, and of course, I think the other thing that's great about Schoolhouse Rock is that, you know, and I know we're going to talk a little more about this too, but learning differences. And when we do, you know, every show we have a Q&A after the show, so the audience can stay, the audience can ask questions of the cast, but we also ask the audience questions as well. And one of our questions is, how do you like to learn? You know, do you like to read? Do you like to listen? Do you like to use your hands? You know, and all of those are just very valid ways of learning. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the Schoolhouse Rock Live continues through June 5th?
That's right.
Is that right? Okay. And then you get there. Then you change gears, right? So you're already preparing for the next show, right?
Yes.
Which is The Lightning Thief.
The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical, yes. Which I think was on Broadway in 2017 or somewhere around there. And so it's exciting that it's finally available for us to do our production here. And you know, I've been told if you like the books, you will like the musical. I know there's some like disagreement on the film version, but this very much goes back to the books and tells the story from there.
Yeah. Well, and there's a San Antonio connection, right? The
That's
author,
right.
Rick Riordan, grew up in Alma Heights.
That's
so.
right, he did.
Yeah.
I think, he was born here, grew up here, taught at St. Mary's.
Hall? Yeah.
Yep. So he's a hometown guy. I hope maybe we'll see him here. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? No, I was a fan of his mystery novels before he broke out and did Percy Jackson. And I remember telling some of my friends, like, oh, these books are great. And they're like, well, those are just like pot boiler mystery novels. I'm like, no, this guy's great. So I felt very vindicated.
You were on the
right.
the bleeding edge.
I was a fan before it was cool. But
That's right.
don't have your kids read the mystery novels. Those are for adults.
Those are for adults, that's right.
There's no guns, but there's a lot of other mayhem. So.
Sure.
Yeah, no, but I've had families tell me that their kids were reluctant readers, but once they got a Percy Jackson novel in their hands, like that fired up a love of reading in their kids.
Yeah, right. Isn't it important for young people to just find who they are, find their way, find what's important to them? And certainly Percy Jackson is a character who needs to do that very same thing. Like has a hard time being in school. It's not sure where he fits. Knows there's something kind of different about him, but what is it, as a character, he has dyslexia, which we learn later is just his Greek god side, showing it. That's why he can read Greek, and so it's not surprising that something with adventure, and a hero that is an ordinary, or appears to be on the surface an ordinary young person, would be attractive to young people. Yeah,
and so as you're going through rehearsals, are there aspects of the book or the script that hit differently now, like sort of post-COVID and like after like what all the kids have experienced, all the disruptions they've had?
Well, sure. Reading through it the other day again, I was sort of struck by the last number of the show is called "Bring on the Monsters." And where Percy and his friends kind of say, we can't wait for our parents to help us. We can't wait for anyone to help us. We're the only ones. And it's hard. It was a hard thing for me to sort of read and say, oh, like, have we let a generation down? Going through COVID and I think about all the young people. And I think the show for me is going to be like dedicated to the kids that started kindergarten on a screen, the seniors in high school that didn't get to graduate or walk or have a senior year, or the college freshmen who were locked in their dorm rooms and did class online. I think this show is for them.
Yeah. As parents, like we try to protect our kids and stuff, but like they're gonna have to find the strength to be the heroes in their own stories, because unfortunately the world threw a lot at them, and it's not fair. But we can try to help them be the best that they can, but it's kind of on their shoulders. I think that's what's so amazing about the Percy Jackson stories is like it's kids showing so much bravery and resilience, and they have to overcome their own flaws and their own conflicts.
Right. Even with these all-powerful parents that they have, that they never see, right. Or rarely see, I should say, right? But it's all on you. It's all on you.
Yeah. Well, and we were talking about this a moment ago. Like the arts are so important because like we've all been through a lot, right? And the arts can help us process that creatively, right? And I think we have yet to see. I mean, we're starting to see. The arts creating responses to the pandemic, and then, but I also think that like young people can process their feelings that way, and then also like the arts, like the camps and things. It's a way for kids who maybe don't feel like they've found their niche in school, but like through arts they can express themselves. They can find something that they're extraordinary at. They can be the center of attention. They can bring joy to their audience and their friends.
Right, and they can feel that they're part of a community, right? And there's a every show that you do, a little family comes together, and then it goes away, and it comes back together again. But you have these great, solid foundations and relationships that you're building. I'm still working with people that I worked with 30 years ago or 20 years ago at this point, you know, which is just, it's so wonderful, right, to have built those kinds of relationships. But it's also finding camaraderie. You know, for me, coming into the theater as a teenager, I wasn't going to play sports, you know, but I was backstage working on shows, you know, and I think it's another way in. If you don't want to be the center of attention, it's also there's opportunity there for you.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The tech, yes.
Yeah.
I used to do costume design sometimes,
great.
so that's quite, yeah. But maybe I'm a little rusty now. I need to dust off the sewing machine. But
we
yeah.
always need costumes, so I'll keep you in mind.
Right, okay, yeah. I don't want to, let's see, so Lightning Thief, because I'm thinking about, like, May is such a busy time for families. Like, it's like December all over again, right? But, because, you know, there's graduations and this and that, and then, you know,
And
summer.
Mother's Day.
Right, that's right, Mother's Day, yeah.
Moms.
Yeah, okay, so Schoolhouse Rock Live closes June 5th, and then July 1st is when Lightning Thief ramps up. And y'all are doing camps in the summer.
That's right. That's right. So we're back to having camps. It's still, speaking of COVID, you know, it's like something we haven't recovered from is getting our camp program back up to be able to have the amount of young people we used to have through the doors. And it's purely a space issue. We don't have enough physical space to run that many classes at once. But we do have a camp in June, 2 weeks in June, that is already sold out, and that's a Broadway camp for ages 5 to 13. There is a waiting list that you can sign up for on our website. So if you're interested in something in June for your 5 to 13-year-olds, we have something there. But then after that, in July, while Percy Jackson is running, we have a Percy Jackson musical experience camp. Where you'll learn parts of the show, and I think some of the cast will come by and join the class. And part of the registration is getting to see a performance during the week as well. And so there's still room in that camp, and that is for ages 10 to 17, July 10th through 14th, and July 17th through 21st.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's great. Okay, so so the Percy Jackson camp, like, so for a kid can sign up for 1 week, and they do rehearsals. They learn aspects of the show,
bits of the show. Yes, yeah, and then they'll get to perform on the stage in the theater. Yeah, on the real set.
While the set is up there.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I've talked to families about, like, their kids' experiences in theater camp, and you know, for a kid who's shy, it gives them, like, a structure for expressing themselves, and can, you know, that can translate into other arenas for them to be able to speak up for themselves more. And some kids are already confident, and this is a chance for them to, you know,
to keep building on that.
Right. And they get to work as a team, right? They get to be part of that little family that forms around a show.
I think that's number one, you know, when they talk about 21st century skills and they talk about collaboration and imagination. I mean, that is what the theater is at the core of making a play, of making theater.
Right. Yeah. So, like, a theater camp, it's not just for the kids who know that they want to be in Hollywood. It's also for skills that you can apply anywhere in life if you need to relate to people, which is every job.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what we tend to focus on a little more here, is just is that teamwork, is that collaboration. And certainly, if your interest lies in theater and you want to do more, it's great for that. But it's also great for kids who just want to have a good time, and then they're going to take away, again, like, you know, maybe we're sneaking in the broccoli into the I don't know.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going with that anymore.
Yeah, well maybe like, I mean, I'm a big believer in families doing things together. Like, I love taking my kids to stuff, and just, you know, it makes memories. It's like, then, you know, it's something special. And you know, I think some of us, like, I mean, we stayed home a lot during COVID, and it felt really weird. And so to be able to get out of our house again and go to events, it feels so special. And, you know, I want my kids to see lots of things in the world, because then they can be thinking about where they fit in the world. What do they belong as? Because I mean, I feel like the Magik Theatre does such great. You know, y'all have the like sign language interpreted, and you have, like, the sensory friendly performances and stuff. So, like, it's built around inclusion. It's built around, you know, even kids with learning differences finding their, or the partnership with Celebrate Dyslexia. That's right. Like what is the show called?
That show, Eddie and Vinny.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Which is still on tour. It's touring to schools this spring, and that's our hope. I mean, it's great to hear you say that, because that's what we work towards as much as possible, is to be an inclusive place for our community, for our whole community. And accessible for our whole community too. Another, you know, you're mentioning the ASL and and sensory-friendly shows, and we also do pay what you wish, which are days that you can come. You can pay $1. You could also pay $500 if you want. You know, you could pay nothing. You know, just another way. You know, if that's a barrier, then you know, it's another way to kind of get in and see the show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you mentioned the Eddie and Vinny show tours, like, you mentioned that on weekdays y'all welcome school, like field trips that come and see. But yeah, there's,
we have shows that are going out to the schools. Like I said, this year is Eddie and Vinny, and that is, you know, 4 actors and a stage manager in a van. The set is in the van, the costumes are in the van, the sound, and they go out to the school, unload into the cafeteria, put the set up. Perform once or twice, break it all down, put it back in the van, and maybe go to another school and do it all over again. So
yeah, that's great, because that allows so many more kids to experience theater, and you know, this idea of make believe can be serious business, right?
That's right. Yeah,
it's a really important way to communicate and empathize.
Right, and that theater can happen anywhere. That art can kind of happen anywhere, and I personally love it. I think it's one of the most important things we do at the theater is bringing a show right into the school and showing how we can transform their cafeteria or whatever, you know, for that hour. It's a different place, you know, and it's a really special thing.
Yeah. Well, and I know a lot of our in our charter moms community, like we're often the moms and dads who are the doers, like the PTA moms and things like that. So anyway, if y'all are looking for ideas of what your school field trip should be for next year, you know, call Magik Theatre and get them on the calendar, because like kids have a really good time. Right. and they get to experience Hemisphere, which is a beautiful park.
Yes, it's so great. And like I said, you know, being able to make it more than just the show, you know, I think is really special. It's very unique to San Antonio and to Magik. And frankly, you know, I still feel like I think I'm running out of time that I can say I'm new here. I think that statute of limitations is running out.
I moved here in 1990, and I still get treated like a newcomer sometimes. So,
but it was one of the things that was really attractive to me to come and work here was this place, was Hemisphere, and where Magik sits in the community.
Yeah. Okay, well, I want to make sure people know how to get in touch with Magik, how to buy tickets and stuff. So, so the website is magiktheatre.com, but the spelling, magiktheatre.org. Okay, yes. But it's Magik.
That's right.
Right, and it's THEATRE.
Correct.
Not ER, and .org.
.org.
Okay, so magiktheatre.org, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the way you can find the schedule.
Right.
Although next year's schedule, that's coming soon.
Not out yet, it's coming soon.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, so stay tuned.
Yes.
Right, well, and that's a good reason, like, you know, follow on social media, maybe get on the mailing list, and then you'll get the season announcements for next year's shows.
Yes.
But people can go on the website, that's how they can buy tickets, they can register for the Percy Jackson camp, they can get on the waiting list for the camp that's in June.
Right, yep, it's all there. And like you said, Facebook, Instagram, I think we do Twitter too, but maybe not as much, I don't know. Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram are very, very packed with info.
I've heard a rumor I might be doing Instagram takeover before the month is over.
Oh, very good, okay.
So then you get real behind the scenes stuff, so check that out.
Yeah, theater's amazing. I know I've done like wardrobe work and like washing stage blood out of Greek tragedies. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. But it's wonderful, because it just, this is what makes life so rich and meaningful, is like, you know, these stories, and when you have an audience that's connecting and sharing something, and we all come out better for it.
Yes, for sure. And I, you know, one of the reasons why I love working in theater for young audiences is because the impact is so visceral, and you know you can really be changing someone's life, and that's a good place to be.
Yeah. Whether they're looking at a situation or emotions in a different way, or whether they're inspired to, you know, pick up a book and read because of maybe the questions with the Q&A. And that's one thing about, like, the Magik Theatre artists are so accessible, right? Like the meet and greet in the lobby and stuff like that.
Well, we haven't done those since COVID, but we will be bringing them back eventually.
Okay, eventually.
But in lieu of that, we do have the after the show,
Q&A.
that where you can kind of have ask a couple questions and yeah.
Yeah, and the shows, they're never that long, right? Which I think is also, that makes it more manageable for younger kids with attention spans.
We try to keep it to, like a maximum of 75 minutes from the time the lights go down to the time you're walking out of the theater. So, but yeah, usually right around an hour.
Yeah. Well, I have lots of great memories of bringing my kids here, and of like the traveling show coming to my kids' preschool, and I'm really thankful that Magik is part of the community and bringing arts to so many kids.
Well, it means a lot to us too, so thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, great. Okay, well, thanks for the conversation, the updates about what Magik Theatre is up to, and okay, let's see if I can get the website right. So it's Magik, Magik. Theater, THEATRE.org.
That's it.
And that's where folks can get information.
You've got it.
All right. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Inga. Thanks for having me.